What's going on, guys? Welcome to Rob's house. Today's a very, very exciting day. So as you can see, I've rearranged my garage to make room for something new. It's actually right here, right in front of me. I'm not showing it to you yet. I'm super, super excited. We're adding a new car to the channel. This was sort of planned in that I planned on getting one of these eventually. I did not plan on getting it so soon, but a pretty good deal popped up and I decided to jump on it. Anyone who knows me might be actually a little surprised that I ended up with a Corvette, because growing up, Corvettes were not really what started my whole interest in cars. It was a different car. And this particular car in question, I saw driving down the road when I want to say I was about 14 or 15. I saw it driving down the road and I was just like, what was that? I want to have one of those someday. This is a little bit of like a childhood dream come true. I had posters of this car on my wall growing up. Like it was that car for me. For a lot of people, it's Lamborghinis, Ferraris. Some people are into Corvettes. And especially the car in question, the market is pretty crazy right now. They're actually very, very expensive and the prices are just going up. So I was actually getting a little discouraged because I wanted to get one eventually. And I always kind of thought just like, oh, whatever, someday I'll get one. And I figured they're getting older, so they're gonna get cheaper, not more expensive. So, but like I said, I ended up getting a pretty good deal on this one. The car that I'm referring to is the flagship car from Chrysler Corporation. It is the Dodge Viper. So I already have a Mustang, as you guys know. I already have the Corvette, and I was kind of thinking a while back, I was like, I really would like to get a Viper because it was my childhood dream car, and it would be actually really cool to have the flagship from all three American manufacturers. So I have, the Mustang from Ford, the Corvette from GM, and then the Viper from Chrysler. As you guys know, I daily drive my Mustang. I love my Mustang. It's not going anywhere. The Mustang and the Vet are not going anywhere. There's still gonna be plenty more content. I've got some small stuff to do on them, nothing like too crazy. This season, I've just been enjoying the Vet now that the motor build's done and it's wrapped and stuff, and I've just been driving it a lot, taking it out to events and whatnot. But I was like, man, it would be, if I could find a Viper, it would be pretty cool. So for months, I had been scouring Marketplace, as us car guys do. When we get bored, we just start looking at what's out there, and I was keeping track of the market, and I just see the prices going up, 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 and I'm like, oh God, well, I'm never gonna get a Viper. Like, this is, before you know it, the Gen 5 prices already, for a Gen 5 ACR, they're Lamborghini prices now. People are paying over 200 grand for them. But for me, it was the Gen 3 Viper that made me fall in love with the Viper. The one that I saw actually was a coupe. The first one I ever saw, it was a blue coupe. I believe it was a 2006 because I was 15 at the time, so that would have been approximately 2005. So it was probably a 2006 model. It was a coupe, and they started the, actually it had to be a 2006 model because they started the coupe for the Gen 3 in 2006. If I am correct, I believe 03 to 05 they were roadsters only. The one that I saw, it was blue and it had the silver stripes with the chrome wheels. It was like the very classic looking Viper. And that just made me fall in love with the car. And then I started learning all about it, and I was like, whoa, it has a V10. Like, I didn't even know that, I didn't know anything about cars back then. I didn't know that there was anything bigger than a V8. I didn't even know that V12s existed. But anyway, this particular car popped up and it was just a great deal. So without further ado, here's my 2004 Dodge Viper SRT10 Mamba Edition. Check it out. right, so here she is. At home, parked next to the vet. This is an 04 Mamba Edition Viper. And this is not just any 04 Mamba Edition Viper. So they only made 200 Mamba Edition Vipers. The Mambas came in a bunch of different colors. Mine happens to be black. But the thing that sort of makes it a Mamba is the two-tone black and red interior. You can see here, Viper Mamba Edition. Mine is number 96 out of 200. Limited edition Viper. This isn't just any stock Viper. So if you've never seen Vipers before, the hood release is actually on the outside of the car. So you actually don't even need the key to open it. The hood release is down here. See that right here? So we pull this. Check out what is hiding in here. This car has a fully built motor. It has a built bottom end. It has diamond pistons, and I think it was K1 rods. I have the paperwork inside. And it has a Paxton centrifugal supercharger kit. So a Paxton, it's basically a Pro Charger. It's a different company, but basically a Pro Charger. I should probably clean this air filter. Pretty cool. It's also tuned by Nth Moto. It makes 650 wheel horsepower and about 650 wheel torque. I think the actual numbers were like 645, 646, something like that, but around 650, 650. And yeah, here's our power plant, 8.3 liter V10. It's kind of weird because I was driving it earlier and the car's quiet. So it has headers, it has Corsa exhaust on it. I have to get under the car and check. I'm pretty sure it's catted and everything. And it's just pretty quiet compared to them. The Corvette is stupid loud. So it's just funny to me that like, it's definitely, it's quieter than my other cars. It's quiet for what I'm used to in a sports car. It's still pretty loud. But yeah, this thing's awesome. Only issue that I've noticed so far is air conditioning doesn't work at all. The fans don't even blow air. Like, there's just nothing in terms of climate control, but whatever, race car, right? Doesn't matter. A couple of things that I want to do right off the bat that I've already kind of thought about. I would like to put a Gen 4 hood on it just because it has a more aggressive hood scoop and vents. Gen 4 has a bigger hood scoop, and instead of having these two sections of vents, it has 3 massive vents on each side, kind of like the Gen 5 Striker hood, but Gen 4 hood just looks more aggressive, so I do want to do one of those at some point. I would like to put the car on coilovers to lower it because it sits kind of like a monster truck right now compared to what I'm used to. So the front, I mean, the front's high, it's not horrible. The back is pretty bad. So, but it barely gets into my driveway backing it in, and that's the way that I can get in and out of the car. Otherwise, I'd have to Dukes of Hazzard it. So I could pull it in by the front first, but I don't know. I might wait till I move to actually lower the car. But I do want to do a head unit just so I can have some Apple CarPlay and whatever, you know, some basic stuff. But really, that's pretty much all I have planned for the like anything in the remotely near future is just doing a hood and doing a head unit so I can have CarPlay, get directions and stuff. This particular car has some aftermarket pieces on it already. It has this Autoform duckbill style spoiler on it, which honestly I am not the biggest fan of. I like the idea, right? I like the idea of having a lip, but this car's from 2004. This is, I believe this is Autoform's old stuff because I was looking on their website and their new stuff fits a lot more flush on the car. I think I want to change this and do a wicker bill style. So the difference between a duckbill and a wicker bill is a wicker bill, it'll kind of have like horns sort of, and like the middle area will be recessed, which is actually what both my other cars have. The Mustang has a Roush, like a very mild wicker bill, but then obviously the Corvette has a very extreme one that is filled in by this clear glass. But if you take it off, right, you have winglets on each side of the spoiler. So I do want to probably swap that out at some point. It doesn't look horrible, but it's eh. It does have Autoform side skirts on it already, which look pretty good actually. I probably won't change those out. Those look pretty good. And then it's got an Autoform front splitter on it, which again is kind of like an old school style front lip. It just sits so much lower, and I don't know that I really like that or want that. I'll probably take that off and put some kind of carbon fiber one that maybe doesn't sit down as much but comes out more, so that I can put some rods in it and stuff, make the front end look a little more aggressive. That was kind of like a 90s, early 2000s thing, ground effects, right, where you'd make the car look lower by having these things that kind of hang down. That's not really how things are done anymore. If you look kind of at the arrow on the Corvette, right, it doesn't hang down at all. It's right there with the side of the car and it just kind of sticks out. Same thing with the front lip. It comes down a little bit, but not really a whole lot, and that's because now cars sit a lot lower. You know, there's less wheel gap on the Corvette. I have it lowered all the way down on factory bolts, and I cut the rear bolts too to the back setup like way too high. In the short term, I just plan on driving it more, getting more comfortable with the car. The clutch is actually really forgiving. It's really long, and it's weird. It catches like up top. The Corvette's like totally different. The Corvette catches way low. So I have that 3 disc, so the engagement comes in pretty quick in the Corvette. I will say this about the car, driving it, super visceral. Like there's no traction control, there's no stability control. It does have anti-lock brakes, but you just feel very connected with the car. Even the power steering is like not super helpful. So it still kind of steers like a truck. You feel very connected. You feel every little thing that the car does. It handles great. Even at stock ride height, you would think that it doesn't handle that well, but it actually does. The shifter, you feel like every little mechanical component. It's super notchy. I don't know, I generally hate stock. I actually don't know if this one's stock, but I think it is, because Vipers are notorious for having that really mechanical feel to them, which I like. So a lot of people like that kind of spongy feel. And I really don't like that. I don't like when I'm searching for gears and not knowing what gear I'm in, which is why I put the short throw shifter on the Corvette. The Corvette was super spongy before that. So I like that this feels that way. The brakes are really good, actually. They're pretty linear like the Corvette, where they don't have stupid amounts of initial bite, but if you stomp on them, the car will stop. It has 4 pistons front and rear, I think, if I remember correctly. So it doesn't have, yeah, it's a 4 piston. It doesn't have quite as much braking power as the Corvette does. The Corvette has dumb brakes. It has the Brembo 6 pistons in the front with these absolutely massive rotors, and like to the point where you have to run a bigger wheel. Like you have to run a 19 in the front on the Corvette. The Viper has an 18-inch wheel in the front and a 19-inch in the rear, so the diameter is a little bit smaller, but they are wide. This car has a 295/35 series on the front, and then a 345, let's see if I can find it down here, 345/30 on the rear. So it actually runs even bigger tires than the Corvette. The Corvette runs a 285 in the front from the factory and a 335 in the rear. 10 millimeters front and rear, so it's got some big tires on it. Car's pretty fun to drive. Obviously you get tons of looks, like people just don't see very many Vipers, so you catch a lot of people's eyes. I catch a lot of eyes on the Corvette for obvious reasons, but the Viper, like even I just drove and got gas and like everyone was staring at it. It's crazy. Like even the Corvette does it. Like even with this crazy wrap on the Corvette, I still don't get as much attention in the Corvette as I did in my first 10 minutes of driving this car, which is cool. You know, everyone just obviously appreciates it for what it is, which is pretty much a death trap. So, and that's what's kind of awesome about it, right? There's no nannies. Like it's just you in the car. You feel super connected. It feels very mechanical. It's pretty wide. You know, it's got this big door sill. When you get in, you have to be careful. It literally has a warning. Check this out. It literally has a warning that says, be careful, you're gonna burn yourself, because there's side exhaust. Kayla burnt herself getting in it because I had just driven it. But this is, I mean, this is big. Look at, like, this door sill is huge. You have to climb over it to get in. So yeah, I mean, it's just a full-blown race car, and I'm pretty excited about it. We've completed the American car Trinity, so I'm really stoked about that. Kind of in all 3 worlds, right? Mustang, Corvette, and Viper. Thanks for watching this reveal video. I'm really looking forward to bringing you guys some Viper content. Stay tuned for that, as usual. I hope this video was entertaining. I'll see you guys next time. Cause we're